Welcome to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. Let's get into the price action and see what's going on. So yesterday we were talking about the potential that we were looking for this as an ABC. So I'm still looking for this bullish potential where we could see another push to the upside here, where we could see a push towards this 28,221 if this is going to become an A, B, and a C. Alternatively, we could actually see a 5-wave move play out here if we do get a move up past this 29,605. Now, if we did get a 5-wave move to the upside here, this would be part of that idea of the flat correction, where we're actually looking at this X wave still being in play, treating this whole move here as an A, this is a B, and then looking for this C wave to the upside. So our typical target area that we would be looking for this would actually be here between this 29,669 to this 28,588 as an expanding flat. Now there are a couple of ways of reading this, and because it is a complex correction here, we need to just be mindful that this could also just be a B wave to the upside, and we could see a move directly down in a 3-wave move. So we're going to go over a couple of different options here, but ideally, if we're looking at this as a flat correction, what we want to see is a 5-wave move to the upside here, looking to target out this area. So if we did see this move directly up here from our current position, we would see that this target box would be a little bit higher than our typical 1.618. So we'll have to keep an eye on this. There is always the possibility that even if we do get this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, what we could see is a truncation in that 5th wave, which could still look to target out this 1.618 of the A wave, which would be at this 29,669. Okay, so now within this, what we're looking for is this 3-wave move. Now, it's not clear whether this correction is actually completed yet. We need to be aware that it is possible that this whole move could just be an A wave, we could see a B wave, and then we could still see a C wave to the downside. So we're going to go a little bit into the micro count here, and then we're going to go over some of the alternatives of what could actually be playing out. So now looking at the micro count here, I'm looking at this in 2 ways. So we could potentially argue this is W, X, and Y, and it's completed. Now, we could also argue that this leg of this move as a Y wave is not completed, where this is A, flat for a B, and then we see the C wave still play out to the downside. So the 1-to-1 target of the Y wave would actually be this 25,945. So that would be of this as W, X, and looking for this Y. So if that's the case, that means we still have potential to come down a little bit lower here. Now we also do have a daily naked point of control, which is currently sitting here towards us 25,730. So if we see price break down into these levels, I would be interested in seeing how we react into that zone. Now this would also tie in with coming back down here towards this 786, which would be here towards this 25,774. So be keeping an eye on those levels if we do actually get a move to the downside directly. So there's 2 ways that this can happen. So we could either argue that this is a WXY and is completed here. Now if this is the case, what we could then see is price start to move to the upside here, and what we'd be looking for is effectively this to become a 1-2, 1-2, and then we'd see a 5-wave move developing to the upside. Alternatively, like I said, we could have this as an A wave, this is a flat, and then we see a smaller 5-wave move to the downside, looking to actually push down towards this 25,837. Now there is a couple of ways that we can even look at this move here. So what we need to be aware of is there is also the potential we could count this as a diagonal pattern over here, where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now if that's the case, what we'd then be looking for is the potential to actually see a deeper retracement. Now this is an interesting one, because if we did see price come back to the upside here, we do have a daily naked point of control that's still sitting here at this 26,783. So if we saw price move to the upside, looking to push up into some higher levels here between this 27,115 to this 26,601, this could tie into the idea that our B wave is not complete, and then we'd still see this C wave to the downside. Now if we did have to come up to this 0.618 level, which would be this 26,900, this would tie into the idea of having this deeper retracement, and would bring our 1-to-1 down here towards this 25,660. For as long as we actually remain within this channel, we need to be aware that we could actually see price just move into the 0.382, in which case our 1-to-1 would actually be lower down here, but this would actually look to bring us into the bottom end of this move. Now it doesn't mean that we have to actually move down to that 1-to-1. What we could see is price actually fall short, and we could actually move towards this 618, 786, this 854 region, and we could actually fall short. So if we remain within this channel, what I would be looking for is that potential that this could actually come back up here, and then we see another drop to the downside, looking to actually retest the bottom of this channel again. Alternatively, if we do break higher up here, what it could be is that the structure is just changing slightly, and we could actually see the channel develop something along these lines, where actually we would just get a bigger channel like this, where this B wave comes up here, and then we see this C wave form something like this. So we'll have to just give it a bit of space and see exactly how it plays out. Now we need to be aware there is also a bearish potential where, for as long as we actually remain below this 27,455, this count is technically still viable, where we could argue that this has been a flat correction to the upside. Now the reason I don't like it is because it was extremely extended, but it is still possible we could argue that this move to the upside here is corrective. Now if this is a corrective move to the upside, what we need to be careful of is the potential of breaking down towards this 24,076. If we see price start to break down in a bigger way here, what we could see is potentially that, like I said, we could count this as a diagonal pattern. So if this becomes 1, 2, and then we see a bigger third, fourth, and a fifth, what this could actually do is look to bring us down into these levels. So this is why I'm just monitoring this alternative idea here, where we could see price actually break down within this bigger extension to the downside. So we need to just be careful, because if we do see price, like I said, come up to that 0.618, what we could see is a 1-to-1 down here towards this 25,642. Alternatively, if we see price break down past this 1618, which would be here of this 24,893, we could see a bigger impulse developing. So that would tie into that idea of that bigger breakdown. So we need to just be aware that we do still have this on the table here, where we could have this as a secondary 1 and 2 here, where we could look to actually break down deeper. Now the key zone here would be this 24,076. Breaking down past this would validate this count. Now we were also talking about it in the Discord last night. There is a potential that within this, looking at this as a W, X, and a Y, what we could also see here is a flat developing in this Y wave. Now, the way that we'd be looking for that would effectively be for this ABC to play out to the upside, and what we'd be looking for is this is A, B, and C. Now, what we'd typically be looking for, if we're looking for this possibility of being within this Y wave, would actually be something along these lines, where we'd be treating this as an A wave to the downside, looking for this B wave to the upside, and then looking for a C wave to the downside. Now, if we are looking at this as a flat, what we'd be looking for as a regular flat would be a move up towards this 854 region, which would be here towards this 27,948. Now, it is also possible, if this is a flat, what we could see is we could actually see price push above the A wave origin. Now, if that's the case, what we'd be looking for would be the potential of price actually pushing up into this zone of this 28,447 to this 29,726. So we need to keep an eye on this. If we do just see a bigger three-wave move up here, A, B, and a C, what we could then see is that this could become an A, this could become a B, and then we see a C in a flat. Now, this would tie into the idea that within the structure, this is W, this is X, and then we're looking for that Y wave to the downside. So that would be looking for the potential of actually coming down towards this 23,719. Having a look at the Ichimoku cloud here on the 1 hourly, what we can see is that price action actually did come back into this cloud and did find a reaction off it. Now, we're currently sitting above this baseline here at this 26,376. If we do manage to hold this, potentially we could see price look to move to the upside, although we are rejecting also off of our conversion line here. So we need to be aware that if we're looking at that idea where this is actually a flat as a connector wave, as a B, and a C, this could actually be a zone that we look to break down from. So I would be keeping an eye on those levels. Alternatively, if we have a look at the 4 hourly, what we can see is we are still finding support on this conversion line. The cloud above us is still quite thin here, but what I'd be cautious of is that if we see that idea of that bigger A, B, and a C here, this could actually tie with coming back up into some of these levels. Now, the baseline is sitting up here towards this 26,700, so that would be interesting, as it would be looking to actually bring us back into some of these key levels. Now, if we come on to the 8 hourly, once again, we are holding the conversion line. Baseline is sitting towards this 26,899. So that would be potentially still looking for that possibility of, seeing that retracement up here as a A, B, and then a C. So we need to keep an eye on that. As well as that, if we do see price push to the upside in a bigger ABC pattern, what we can see is the higher end of this cloud is still sitting towards this 27,925. So I would be keeping an eye on that, because if we see this as A, B, and C, we get a push up here into the top of this channel again. Possibly what we could see is a retest of this channel over here, as well as the potential retest of the top of the channel here, and a retest of the 8-hour Ichimoku cloud. So I would be keeping an eye on this. If we do look for that possibility of that flat correction, this would make a lot of sense. On the daily, what we can see is we are currently within the cloud. We are below the conversion line and the baseline. Baseline is currently sitting up here towards this 28,170. So once again, if we were looking at this as ABC, that would also tie into a potential area of rejection where we could actually see price get rejected off the top end of this channel. Now, if we were looking at this actually coming down here directly, what we'd actually be looking for is potentially looking to find support towards this 24,600 level, which would actually tie into coming into this little target box that we've got over here, which has a daily and a weekly naked point of control. So if we see price actually break down directly here one more time, this would be looking to bring us into that level. Alternatively, if we do look to break above this and we're looking at that potential of that 5-wave structure, what we could actually see is price get a move above this daily Ichimoku cloud, find support, and then look to continue to the upside. So we need to be aware of that idea within the count. So we're gonna have to just give it a bit of space and be patient with it. There is potential for a breakout here, but we need to hold this low for this to be valid, this 25,356. As long as we hold that low, we have that potential. But once we lose that, then I would be looking for the potential of actually coming back down into this channel line again, which is sitting towards this 24,857 area. Looking at the CPR, what we can see here is that we are currently still sitting on this R1 line, and we are holding this as support, at least for now. So if we do continue to hold this area as a support range, what we could actually see is price be gravitated towards these central lines, which are up here towards this 27,238 to this 27,472. So I would be keeping an eye on that level. Obviously, we do have this swing high in this zone as well. So if we see price move back up into this and reject off of this top line, that would actually, you know, tie in with the idea of having a swing failure and actually retesting the bottom of this channel that we have here. Alternatively, if we see price push up higher, we do have this S1 line, which is sitting towards this 28,204. We have this S2 line at this 29,303, and we have this S3 line at this 30,159. Now, these would be looking at potential targets if we are looking for that possibility of that impulse. We'll be looking at that bigger A, B, and a C for that X wave rather. Now, what we'd also be looking for here is if price starts to break down directly, we do have this R3 line, which is sitting below us here at this 24,313. So I would be keeping an eye on that level if we do see price move to the downside. Looking at the monthly pivot points, once again, we are sitting below this central pivot point here. What we could actually see is if price starts to fall away, we could actually come back and back test this R1 line again at this 25,418. Alternatively, if we see price move to the upside here, we could see rejection between this zone of this 27,837 to this 27,423. If price does manage to break to the upside here in a 5-wave move, looking at this as A, B, and C, what I would then be looking for is the potential to come into this S1 line here at this 29,419. Now, if we did get a bigger push to the upside, because remember, we did say there is that potential from further back here, we could argue this is W, X, Y, X, Z, and is completed, and we're looking to push directly to the upside. Now, if we are looking at that, then potentially what we could see is price be gravitated towards one of these higher lines here, towards this 31,609 and this 33,354. So I would be keeping an eye on those levels as price moves to the upside. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.